Vivekachudamani of Shankaracharya, 384th verse. Dehendriya prana manaha ahamadibihi swa ajnana kliptaihi akhilaihi upadibihi vimuktam atmanam akhanda rupam purnam mahakasham iva avalokayet. We see ourselves to be this body and mind mainly. But how should we see ourselves? What are we? Deha, Indriya, Prana, Mana, Aham, Adibihi. So our ignorance makes us see ourselves as Deha, body, Indriya. Indriya means sense organs and also external organs. So we have 5 sense organs and 5 external organs. Jnanendriya, Karmendriya. 5 organs of knowledge, Jnanendriya. 5 organs of action. What are the organs of knowledge? What are the organs of knowledge? Eyes, ears, and then we also see ourselves to be prana. It is interesting that we are not actually aware of this prana. There are first 3 levels of wrong understanding of our personality, of which is body, then comes prana, and then comes mind. But if you notice, how many of us are aware of prana, which is the vital energy in our body? We are not aware. It starts with breath, this breathing, and we are not aware of this, but we are aware of our mind. So in between prana, we are not aware of that, and then manaha, mind, and aham adibihi, and the ideas of I and mine. Ahankara, mamakara. Ahankara, mamakara. I and mine. Then swa ajnana kliptaihi. All these things are the projections or creations of one's own ignorance. So this body, organs of knowledge, organs of action, prana, mind, everything is a creation of ignorance. It is because we don't have knowledge that we think ourselves to be body, mind, etc., etc., etc. Actually, this is not our true nature. Akhilaihi upadibihi vimuktam. And so, we have to get ourselves free from all these upadhi. Upadhi means these are the limiting characteristics. I have kept this e-book reader here. Is the e-book reader here? Is it here? Is it here? It is only here. So this particular area on this table has been limited by this object. Or when can you see this object? You can see this object only when you have limited it in a particular space. People have some kind of vision defects. Many kinds are there. Okay, so in that vision defect, some people start seeing double image. If they see double image, can they correctly find out where this object is kept? No. Or if people become spiritual, you know what is becoming spiritual? When spirit gets inside somebody, you become spiritual. Huh? Do you know what is that? Spirit. You don't know what is spirit? Spirit. So when somebody consumes spirit, you become spiritual. So if a person has become spiritual in that sense, that person also will see everything 2, 3, etc. So that person also will not be able to locate this. And this is the cause of all our suffering. Because we limit space we limit time, and we get involved in a cause-effect relationship. So you see, love, it's a very tricky thing. If love was true, then why don't we have the same feeling for the entire universe? We don't. Suppose a leopard were to come here, I can assure you that all of you will run. Nobody will show love to that leopard, because you are afraid that it should not show its love to you. Anyway, the point is, so then again that love has been restricted to a particular person or a particular object. It is not separate. And then again, time. You see, you think that you are 78 years old. That itself is a big mistake. Because you consider yourself to be living only in this particular space. But you have been born for so many times earlier, and you will be born again. So that means that's a huge timeline we are talking about. But we don't know that. And so because we don't know that, we consider ourselves, so even the way we work, you see how we work, that is why the thinking itself changes in Eastern context and Western context. In East, all philosophies, including Indian, Chinese, etc., time is not linear. It does not start here and end here. It is cyclical. Time goes like this. Okay, so this is going, then again you take birth, etc. So that is why you see the quality of patience and the lack of restlessness more in Eastern cultures. If you go to Tibet or if you go to China, etc., of course because of Western understanding and Western education, this is increasing, but still compared to an average American, even young people are much more calm and peaceful. Why? Because all of us know, okay, there is another lifetime to tackle this. इस जन्म में नहीं होगा तो अगले जन्म में हो जाएगा. Somehow that idea, that concept of time is there. And so so we are not limited in time. But when it comes to your own life, you are saying, oh, I will die, what will happen? Oh, what will happen to my children? Maybe they will be more happy after somebody dies. But then also we have this, so this time concept, and again cause and effect. If this happens, then because of that it will come. Can anyone tell me whether chicken came first or egg came first? Huh? Can you tell me? Did I tell you that joke? No. Egg, how? Who gave egg?
Biological product of
hen.
That egg is the biological product.
Of what?
Of that mother hen.
So what I am asking is whether egg came first or chicken came first. Without chicken, how can egg come? And without egg, how can chicken come? So you may be thinking that this is a big problem. I was also thinking the same thing. So some months ago, I had a chat with a young boy who is studying in what class? 7th or 6th class, I think. 6th or 7th class. So like 11 years, 12 years old. I told him, you see, I will confuse you. He said that yes, you can confuse me because you are grown up, you are older than me. So you have more knowledge than me and you can confuse me. So that's understood. Said, I will ask you a question. Did chicken come first or egg come first? He immediately gave me the reply that egg came first. I said, how? He said, if you go to a restaurant and order chicken biryani, they give egg in that. But if you order egg biryani, will they give chicken in that? So you see, logic can come from all places. Anyway, so the idea is, we are, because of ignorance, bound by these concepts of time, space and causation. Desha, space, Kala, time, and Nimitta, causation. And that is why we suffer. And that is the creation of ignorance. Our own ignorance. It's not somebody else's ignorance. It's our own ignorance. And so we have to get rid of Akhila, all limiting factors. These are the limiting factors. Atmanam Akhanda Rupam. And then we have to understand what? Our own nature, which is Akhanda Rupa, which is of infinite nature, which has no limitations. See, because of ignorance we are seeing limitations. If ignorance goes away, there will be no limitations, either in time or space or causation. So there is nothing behind Atman. Atman was not caused because of something, because then it will depend on that. Same way, Atman is not present in one particular place or something. It is not bound by space. And Atman is not present in a particular time. If you take an apple and cut it into two and keep it just like that, after some time it will discolor, because some time has elapsed. But nothing will happen to Atman. It's only the body and mind which perishes, not the Atman, not your true nature. Purnam Mahakasham iva avalokayet. So you have to see. See means you have to understand, or you have to contemplate upon this Atman, just like you contemplate the Mahakasha, infinite sky, infinite. Does sky have any limit? Sky does not have any limit. The atmosphere has. So what you see, blue, actually sky's color is? What dark means what? Dark is not a color. Black. Dark is not a color. You have dark red, dark yellow. Dark itself cannot be a color. It's a shade. So black. Black. It's not blue. It's because of atmosphere that you see sky to be blue. The moment you go outside earth, you will see it's all just black. And so there is no boundary of space. Space does not have any boundary. Sky does not have any boundary. It is like that. And that is why people go and stand in front of the sea to meditate, etc. on Atman. But of course, sea also has a boundary, only that you cannot see it. That boundary is not visible, but there is a boundary. But not so space. So that is our true nature, and that nature we have to realize. Then Shankaracharya says, Ghata Kalasha Kusula Suchi Mukhyahi Gaganam Upadi Shataihi Vimuktam Ekam Bhavatina Vividam Tataiva Shuddham Parama Ahamadi Vimuktam Ekameva. So, you see, there is space, and in that space, all of you are sitting. This building has been built on this space, and these things have been kept, etc., etc. But the space is only one. Right? Space is only one. All these things are there in the space. So similarly, Ghata, in Sanskrit or in Indian philosophy, you will have to always come across certain things. What is that? One is a Ghata, a jar. Then there is Pata, cloth. And there is somebody, like we say Mr. X, but in Sanskrit or Indian philosophy we will not say Mr. X. We have given him a generic name, Devadatta. So suppose somebody you have to say, suppose that there was a person. So instead of saying that, you say Devadatta. So these terms will always come. Ghata, the jar. What does the jar do? Jar occupies some space. That means the jar is limiting space. Inside the jar also space is there. Outside the jar also space is there. Okay. Then there is Kalasha, pitcher. It's also a form of in which you have water, etc. Then Kusula. Kusula means where you keep grains. Where you keep grains. what you call, that's a place where you keep grains. If you go to villages, you will see that they make such a thing. Huh? Gola, that is called kusula. It is in a particular shape like this. Dhaner gola. So that is called kusula. So now this kusula and suchi means needle. All these, they are gagana upadim shataihi. Like that, like this, there are hundreds of shataihi, hundreds of limitations in space. Means space has been limited. Now, if Shankaracharya wrote now, he would say laptop, smartphone, etc. Okay, so it is all, but that space is actually one. If you don't see these limiting adjuncts, if you don't see these limiting characteristics, space in itself is one, ekam. Similarly, it is one and it is not diverse, na vividam. It is not diverse. Similarly, tathaiva shuddham parama aham adi vimuktam ekameva. Similarly, the parama, that is Brahman, the ultimate principle or ultimate reality, when it is freed from ignorance in the form of egotism, aham, ahankara, mamakara, etc., then it is also only one. It is also pure. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.